and we're Rastas. And it's my first time here in Romania, so thank you all very much for having me. Just to clarify a few things, so that was my fourth run.
Sorry.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and when we go to Jamaica, and when we go to Jamaica, I don't think we're going to come back to Europe for this year. I don't think. So I think it will be next year before I come back to Europe.
Wow.
So just to clarify two things that you said. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, a lot of people, great turnout. It was raining and everyone still came out and had a great time. And very interactive. So if I said, put your hands up, you see everyone's hands up all the way to the back. So that was great. That's beautiful, you know. And I'd really like to come back here. I mean, obviously, there's a great love for my music here. Especially, what was very interesting is that a lot of the new songs from the new album, people seem to know. You know what I mean? So that's great, because sometimes you go some places and they're not really up on the new music as yet. They're still trying to absorb it, you know. But here in Romania, you definitely know the new music, so I would love to come back here and play again.
Speak live.
Speak live, yeah, word.
Okay, so I want to know how your brainstorming or creative sessions go, and I'm imagining they're really calm and positive, but in every group there's that guy that holds too tight to his ideas, and I'm wondering if there's one in your group. If there's that guy who is stubborn and he says, no, my idea is good, let's do this.
Me. Me, absolutely. I'm the most stubborn person in my group, absolutely, you know.
Are you a perfectionist?
Yeah. And every alright, so we have a few different ways that we typically make music. Sometimes we build beats, and we just go in and build beats, and then we end up writing songs to those beats that we built. Some of the times you find that you have an idea for a song, and then you make the beat around the song. And then a lot of the times what you find happens is that we jam. So I'll have like a few musicians there, and we'll just start playing whatever, anything, and see what we come up with. And we'll come up with something that we like, then we'll continue to work on that, you know. But still, every song has its own story, because even if maybe if I didn't have the melody or the song itself, I might have had the idea. You know what I'm saying? Just
I have a curiosity. Most of your life you've been referred to like Bob Marley's youngest son, and I've seen your son here. I guess that at least in your teenage time, maybe sometimes you had the frustration to always be compared. I'm guessing, or maybe not. How do you prepare your son? Maybe he will become an artist one day, and maybe he will be named Damian Marley's son. Do you think?
well, that would be an honor, because it is an honor for me to be called my father's son. It's something I'm proud of. But it's something that is very premeditated. So if I'm in the studio making music or in my day-to-day life, it's not something I'm walking around thinking about. Yeah, I mostly think about that when I'm asked in an interview. Well, how does it feel to be Bob Marley? So I say, well, let me think about that. But it's not something that's really on my mind on a day-to-day basis. And then I always try to explain to people that I know no other life. So I don't know what it is like to not be Bob Marley's son. This is the life I know, and I'm comfortable being me, you know. So.
Jamaica do enjoy at the moment in terms of music, and what do they think about this evolution of reggae?
They're evolving themselves. If you listen to what is made in Jamaica today, it doesn't sound like what was being made in Jamaica in the 1970s. Reggae music itself is evolving, and now dancehall is now really becoming almost like a different sounding sound than the original reggae. So it's an evolution. Young people come, they add on their take on the music, they add what they're feeling, and you have to appreciate that, because we did that too. And every generation comes and does that. You know what I'm saying? So that's great. And again, you know, music is free for all to partake. So I don't think there's anything wrong with any of it, really, to tell you the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking in terms of good and bad, I was just asking.
No, so that's what I'm saying. It's great that they're doing that, and I think it's just, again, just being influenced by having access to what the world is listening to and what the world is doing.
But are you influenced by some artists nowadays, or you listen when you have time, or do you only do your own music?
No, I'm definitely I'm influenced. You were influenced by everything, whether we know it or not. Anything that I end up experiencing in some way, I'm going to be influenced. Even if it's something I don't like, I'll be influenced to say, okay, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So you're, and of course, things that you like, you're going to be influenced by it. So, you influence, even subconsciously, you're always influenced by what you're listening to.
It was also just, can I? So I was thinking about your album with Nas, and what it happened in Romania, for example. So we didn't have really much access to information when the album came, so it was sort of a delay, and maybe we thought about you and some Nas like some kind of heroes, because it was this delay.
Right. Okay.
How do you feel with that? When people glorify a little bit your life, maybe.
Glorify. Well, I guess that's that's a start to the bigger picture. Hopefully, what it is really people really get to absorb what we're saying and understand what we're saying, especially in an album like the one that Nas and myself put together. It's more important that people really understand the vibration and the thought behind the album. You know what I mean? So if it starts with because you're fans of Nas and myself, they're great. But we hope that it evolves onto a greater understanding of what we're trying to speak about.
Coming back to the positivity and your messages, the messages in your song, what can people around the world do to live in a more peaceful world, world where there's less war, if not none?
Well, communication is key, and for people to have their voices be heard is also very key, which we have more of an opportunity to do now than perhaps ever before because of, again, the same social media. You can really get a feel of what people are feeling and thinking. But communication is definitely key, and for us to understand each other and judge not. We have, throughout all of my travels and the places I've been and the different cultures and religions and faces and places and races and all these things, you find that people have a lot more in common than they do in different. So, and we should all learn from each other because, no man is an island and none of us are, none of us are really wiser than the other. It's all given upon which situation, what's the circumstance that you're in. You know what I'm saying? So it's good for us to learn from each other more than everything else.
If you put the music aside, what is your other bigger passion, for example?
Put music aside, what's my biggest passion?
Yes.
Probably my son, probably being a father. Which would actually be even bigger than music, really. It's more important. But music does play a part in that also. What our music is geared toward is the most important thing, which is really trying to help out a situation and really, know that we played a role in our lifetime here on earth to help move humanity forward to a more positive place. And that's important. So whether it's through music or through works that we do, humanitarian works, helping out with schools, helping out with kids and their education, or whatever the case may be, these kind of things. That is really the bigger picture in general.